but instead have a committee that takes a look at how many of us you can represent adequately. Have a legislative committee that examines how many people should be represented by a legislator. Then when the census data comes out, you apply that mathematically and you know the number. The number may be 15, the number may be 21. But decide about, amongst yourselves as a committee, how many of us you can represent, rather than how many of you we need. So I would recommend a no vote on that. That's all I have to say. Until they get to the end. In 1970, there was no county legislature. There were representatives of each town by their supervisors. People at that time, 150,000 of us, were well represented. Somebody had the idea that we needed an additional layer of representation, so it was created. And when it was created, it had to be staffed. We used a federal program, the CETA program, to train people to staff the new government. The government has grown. We continue to be 25 legislators. We continue to have people represented by their town supervisors, their village mayors, their town boards, their town and village trustees, their city councils, and their city mayors. There is no lack of representation for people in this county. It is really time to do two things. Determine the right number that a legislator can represent, and work with the local governments to determine what is the right makeup of those local governments. This body does have the ability, under the new state law, to make changes to the structure of government in this county. But you can't do it alone. I offer myself to work with any number of committees. I've talked to at least one or two representatives in this room about ways of using the existing services that the villages and cities and towns provide to help you with your $18 million deficit. I attended a meeting put on by the Attorney General with one of the legislators in this room, and it's time for us to start looking at the ideas that were expressed that evening to find ways to provide government. Because right now, what we've created since the early 1970s, we have not been successful. The people continue to leave, industry continues to leave. I wasn't here, or wasn't old enough to speak when the legislature was created. But in that time, I was able to deliver newspapers, and I would read the front page. Every year, there'd be another business closing. We haven't been successful doing it this way. Let's get together. Let's find a room big enough. It won't be here because this is not big enough to hold all the elected officials in this county. And let's do some brainstorming, and let's see what we can get on the ballot this November that will give the public the opportunity. And for those of you that are worried about the public having the opportunity to vote on your size of the legislature, they will have that opportunity when you present the reapportionment plan. You can give them the opportunity, I believe, at that point to put it on as a permissive referendum or require them to file petitions. But it's happened in this county before, and I'm sure if you don't have a number that the public accepts, they'll be doing it again.